In this video, we are analyzing the issue of Bountygate in society today. We begin with an understanding of what deviance is. Deviance occurs when a person's ideas, traits, or actions are perceived by others to fall outside their normal range of acceptance in society. There are two types of deviance. The first one is informal, which are the violations of unwritten customs and shared understandings that are punished by unofficial sanctions administered by observers or peers. In the first picture, you see Elizabeth Lambert pushing and pulling the hair in a soccer game. In the second picture, you see a pitch thrown at a batter in a rival baseball game. The second is formal deviance, which is the issue of the New Orleans Saints in the Bountygate scandal. Formal deviance is a violation of official rules and laws that are punished by official sanctions administered by people of authority.
Introducing the difference of informal and formal deviance leads our video into the thesis. Deviance has played a major factor in sports, giving fans and athletes the excitement and entertainment society wants. With the issue of Bountygate, deviance has expanded to new limits that breaks both the over and under conformity lines. It is looked to be over-conformative because the team is accepting what the coach is telling them to do. They are not recognizing that intentionally hurting a player for money is outside the norm. As the image shown on your left, you see the Saints locker room. When players and coaches are in the locker room, they fail to recognize any limits outside that follow the norms. On your right, you see an image of a football field. Here, the Saints are ignoring the norm of player safety and showing society that they are the dominant ones.
Listen for yourself to Greg Williams. This is reportedly the former coach, defensive coach of the Saints, talking to his players just before what would end up being his final game with the team. Listen.
Every single one of you, before you get off the pile, affect the head. Early, affect the head. Continue, touch and hit the head. They're going to come in. They're going to be shocked with our contact. They're going to be shocked with our speed. They're going to be shocked with our strength. I can kick field goals, be the best defense in that stadium, remember the walkaways, and remember whatever it takes.
This is just a portion of the audio that is now pretty much available all over the web. The Saints ended up losing that game, Jenna. Williams ended up leaving the team, going to St. Louis. And because of the bounty scandal, the NFL has suspended him for the entire upcoming season.
Bountygate falls in the category of deviance. Bounty is when a sum of money or other items are given to players under the table for in-game performances.
There are many ways Bountygate becomes an issue of deviance. Looking at a constructionist approach, they look at deviance when it goes outside the socially determined boundaries that allow society to determine what is acceptable and unacceptable. Bountygate is pushing outside the ideas, traits, and actions of what football is by intentionally hurting a person to benefit from it. By not having this in their contract, society gets to determine if this issue is right or wrong. Looking at Bountygate in the case of football or any sport is frightening. Players benefiting for intentionally hurting someone causes fear to anyone involved in a sport. Beyond the professional level, this could influence coaches to bribe their players to do anything it takes to win. What is sport teaching society? We feel as if we are traveling back in time to when sport was considered survival of the fittest. Money does a lot to a person. What the issue of Bountygate is teaching society is that money is what is needed to succeed in life. Love for the game has nothing to do with playing a sport anymore. It is what you could benefit from it. Being an athlete, we could be terrified to play a sport we love if we knew society is being influenced from players who are intentionally hurting people. Does money change the mindset of athletes? Since salary caps are involved, players would accept the task of injuring players to receive more money. Although they already receive more than what a doctor or lawyer makes, the issue of greed would push players to do unexpected behavior.
Quintus, sword! Give me your sword! Sword! Give me a sword!
Sheathe your sword! Sheathe your sword!
What is the future for deviance in sport? Looking at all that is going on in society today, one could only imagine what is to come from the sport world. With the issue of Bountygate, we could see history repeating itself. In 264 BC, the first gladiator fight was introduced in Middle Rome. A gladiator is a man who was trained to fight against other men or animals for survival. In sports today, we are seeing a similar action being done by professional football players. Intentionally injuring or trying to cause fatality is similar to what the Romans were doing. But back then it was to survive another day. Today is for money.